It hasn't been a good couple of years for AAA games, with just about every other release seeming to be less finished and more of a letdown than the last, from studios that used to deliver constant home runs year after year just 10 years ago. Studios like Bethesda, whose highly anticipated Starfield turned out to be a procedurally generated snorefest. They seem to be losing the ability to deliver finished or even just halfway decent games. 2024 has been particularly rough for the AAA genre, with Ubisoft having such a terrible year that they have had to push their next release, Assassin's Creed Shadows, into next year. So needless to say, when I heard that the next Call of Duty was about to release, I paid it very little mind. Now, I haven't really played much Call of Duty since the original Modern Warfare 3, which it's absolutely insane that I have to clarify I'm talking about the 2011 game, not the 2023 reboot. Sure, I picked up the Modern Warfare reboot in 2019 since I did love the original Modern Warfare series, but even that series felt like it devolved into just the next Warzone update, paid update at that, with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, with less and less attention being given to the campaigns. Modern Warfare 2 and 3 had campaigns that took maybe 3 to 4 hours to beat, with pretty uninteresting storylines, so I wrote off the whole franchise after that. As I was always someone who played Call of Duty more for the campaign than the multiplayer, I was more of a Battlefield multiplayer guy than a Call of Duty multiplayer guy, and with these campaigns getting shorter and less interesting, there was less and less reason for me to throw $60 every year at Call of Duty just for, again, the next Warzone update. But then Black Ops 6 came out, and it was apparently good. So I downloaded the game and jumped right into the campaign, which takes place during the first Gulf War, which definitely makes me feel better about my age, seeing an event from not too far away from my birth year showing up in a Black Ops game. And I gotta say, the campaign is actually fun and engaging. There's a surprising amount of mission variety, not only in terms of the setting and objectives of each mission, but how you can approach each mission. There's a surprising amount of different ways you can tackle quite a few missions in the campaign. In many cases, you're just dropped into the mission, then told, okay, here's what you need to do, go figure out how you want to do it.
I've done some scouting, marked a few leads that could help get him isolated and get you close enough to do the retinal scan.
Which shocked the crap out of me. You can even violently murder a man in front of a Little Caesars at a Bill Clinton rally. Need I say more? The last time I played a Call of Duty campaign, the mission structure was super linear and very restrictive, looking at you, Modern Warfare 3. Every now and then, you might get a mission with multiple paths occasionally in previous Call of Duty games, but in Black Ops 6, this happens like very, very often in the campaign, which, to my absolute shock, features an entire open world sequence. Like you literally get dumped in the middle of the Iraqi desert and just get let loose with a truck to drive your team around with to wherever you want to go. There's side quests and objectives that you can complete. What's really cool about this level is that the whole context of this mission is that you're preparing to storm this Iraqi palace, but you first need to take out these Scud missile launchers. So in the process of taking out these missiles, you can collect resources from these side missions to use in the big assault on the palace. For example, you'll hear a distress call from a downed Delta unit, and if you help them, you'll be given a stealth bomber that you can call in during the main assault on the palace. You can also take out the SAM missile sites, then you'll get a chopper gunner because now, of course, the helicopter in front can fly freely over the Iraqi desert, and so forth and so on. It was a really different and really neat sequence, and I hope to see more of this in the future. So, not only are the missions varied very nicely, but the story is actually interesting. Now, because the story is actually interesting, not just a retread of, well, the Modern Warfare storyline, again looking at you, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, but because it is so interesting, I don't want to give away too much about the storyline. But the gist is that there's this mysterious new rogue Black Ops group running around that seems to have this new weapon of mass destruction called the Cradle. So you're racing to figure out what it is and what it does and what are they planning to do with it, which, that in and of itself, good enough premise for a Black Ops game. You know, they throw some Saddam Hussein in there, pretty good premise right there. But let's just say that it gets pretty wild about halfway in. What's also neat is that there's a hub area that you return to after every mission, where you can engage in optional bits of dialogue with your team. It's a pretty neat way to add more depth to these characters and to the story. The hub area itself is also a former KGB safe house, so there's mysteries and puzzles for you to solve there. Again, a big departure from most past Call of Duty titles. It's also where you could upgrade your character's abilities, upgrade your weapons, so forth and so on. One of the big things about the hub area is that during the campaign, you're looking for extra money that you can use to spend back at your hub area to expand it, and again, spend this money on upgrades. So pretty neat way of working that in to the game there. So it'll take you anywhere from about 8 to 10 hours for your average gamer to finish the main story, depending, of course, on how you want to approach the missions in game. Of course, if you just go in full tilt, guns blazing, you get through the campaign faster. But if you take a stealthier and slower approach, and in my opinion a more satisfying approach, it will of course take longer. And again, there's a lot of open missions in this game. They're not very linear in most cases, so you are free to roam around and again figure out your own way of completing these missions. So again, it's going to vary for you, but about 8 to 10 hours seems to be the average across most gamers. So that's easily double, and in some cases triple, what previous Call of Duty titles have been. The campaign also gives you a healthy dosage of stealth and guns blazing, with missions that are clearly designed around a stealthy approach, but it also has missions that deliver those big, exciting Michael Bay moments that we all know and love from the older Call of Duty games. So in my personal experience, this is the best campaign that Call of Duty has offered in a very, very long time. Also, the game has multiplayer. Alright, so look, as far as the average age of Call of Duty gamers go, I'm a senior citizen, right? I started my Call of Duty journey back with the original Modern Warfare back when I was in high school. And those games' multiplayer pace is a slideshow compared to Black Ops 6. Especially with this new movement system where you can sprint and dive in basically whatever direction your heart desires. It's a bit wild. However, I am having a pretty good time. If you've played Call of Duty in the past 10 years, it should feel pretty familiar to you, albeit a bit more cracked. I don't know. These kids nowadays are doing some crazy things with this new movement system, and I'm just like, look, I'm still sprinting, still playing it like it's Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, right? But you know what? The kids can have their cracked movement system. Us elder players have levels of character that these children will never have, since we were raised in those OG Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. No insult crafted by the human mind has any effect on us. No slur forged against us shall prosper. But yeah, it's a fun time. I've somehow managed to finish top of my team several times, which was a huge surprise to me since, I've been playing mostly World of Warships for the past 8 years, which requires the reaction time of half-dried paint, So there does seem to be some weirdness, however, going on with the hit registration. I'll empty like half a magazine, and keep in mind, the starting gun they give you has like a 60-round magazine, which is wild, right? So I'll empty half of that into somebody, and they don't really seem to mind, but then they'll turn around and shoot me 3 or 4 times, and I'll die. I don't know what's up with that. The game has been an absolutely massive success, breaking sales records over its launch weekend, and continue to do so. So perhaps that's what's going on. The servers are a little strained. Who knows? But either way, I'm still enjoying my time with it. The game modes are pretty standard. You have, hard points, team deathmatch, free-for-all, search and destroy, among, again, domination and a handful of other matches. The traditional matches that you will, come across in most recent Call of Duty games. So they're all there, and again, pretty solid, and I've been having fun with it. The map design seems to be pretty solid from what I've experienced so far. So there you go. Now, I didn't get to play the zombies mode in time for this review, but apparently it's quite good, and players that are huge fans of previous Call of Duty zombies are saying it's good, the Easter eggs are fun and crazy and awesome, and, you know, the zombies, when I started playing, you know, the first Black Ops, it was just, you know, murder the zombies, make it as far as you can into, the rounds, and now you have all these crazy puzzles and contraptions that you have to do in order to get these Easter eggs and such. So I was never too much into that, but from what I'm being told, it's a good mix of both, and again, those crazy Easter eggs are there. So again, with how good everything else about this game has been, I'm willing to believe that, you know, it's good as well. So who would have guessed that Call of Duty, the series that is the embodiment of video game corporate slop, would be the AAA franchise to hit a home run this year, especially after their previous games haven't really been that successful. Overall, as far as a numerical score would go, I would give Black Ops 6 an 8 out of 10. It's well worth the asking price with an actual decent length campaign with creative missions, an interesting storyline, a multiplayer that you can easily sink hundreds of hours into, and zombies to top it all off. So guys, it's my 2 cents on Black Ops 6. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, especially if you played it. Are you having a good time? Is it a nice mix of old and new, like what I've been reading, what I've been experiencing here over the past, like, 20-30 hours I've dumped into it so far. So let me know what you guys think about all that jazz in the comments down below. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and hope to catch you guys in the next one.